Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to your own YouTube channel. We call it as Exam Norm. And I welcome you all in your favorite session, that is Finance Norm. That is a finance current affairs session where we discuss the finance related current affairs on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 5 p.m. If you're preparing for any of the regulatory bodies exam, remember that finance is going to play a really very important role, and finance related current affairs are must to be covered to clear the examination. So before we start with the discussion, may I have a reply that everything is fine, I'm audible, visible, all good, so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. जल्दी से एक बार मुझे बता दो कमेंट सेक्शन में क्या मेरी वॉइस क्लियर है. आई होप द ऑडियो एंड वीडियो एवरीथिंग इज फाइन. वी आर गुड टू गो. गिव मी अ थम्स अप सो दैट वी कैन स्टार्ट विद द डिस्कशन. आज का जो सेशन है, इट्स अगेन रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई हैव 3 इंपॉर्टेंट circulars which have been presented by RBI recently, and we will be discussing those 3 circulars in this session. Along with this, as you all remember, as I told you previously, that from 27th and 29th of April, we have few of the circulars still pending, which we will be covering in the month of May itself. So don't worry, it will be covered going forward. ठीक है जी, done है. I hope everything is fine. I hope everything is fine. We are good to go. Give me a thumbs up so that we can begin. Okay then. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Let's get started. First, we'll solve few questions based on the previous session. So the first question is related to Forex correspondent. I don't know why, but I'm having this gut feeling that yes, Forex correspondent, banking correspondent, and now banking facilitator has been replaced. So these 3 terms are really very important for this examination, and I'm expecting that RBI may ask a question, or there is a great probability that RBI may ask a question on the same. So coming to the point says foreign exchange correspondent operates under a principal agent model with an authorized dealer. Principal agent model with an authorized dealer. Is it correct? Yes, sir. That is absolutely correct. There is no harm in it. Next is foreign exchange correspondent are allowed to independently hold foreign exchange balances in their own books. Are they allowed to hold the balances in their own book? No, sir, that is not allowed. You are just a facilitator. You are just providing the services on the behalf of the principal agent. On the behalf of the principal, you are just an agent, so you cannot hold the funds. That is wrong. A Forex correspondent can act as an agent for more than one authorized dealer. Yes, sir, that is allowed. All transactions conducted by foreign exchange correspondent must be reflected in the books of the principal. It's quite obvious. It has to be reflected. ये तो होगा ही होगा. Fresh franchise arrangements are allowed indefinitely under 2026 regulations. नहीं सर, अब बोल दिया कि अब जो existing franchise है, they may exist, but the new franchise model is not accepted. So it won't be there. Only and only we have the foreign exchange correspondent. So keeping that in mind, 1, 3 and 4, that is the B option, is absolutely the correct answer. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया. Moving on to the next one. The next question we have is, consider the following statement regarding the agency commission and reporting by agency banks. So electronic receipt transactions include payment via UPI, debit card and internet banking. That is correct. जब हमने कहा था कि electronic transaction, physical transaction 40 rupees per transaction, electronic transaction 12 rupees per transaction, तो electronic transaction का मतलब है जो पेमेंट की जा रही है via UPI, debit card and internet banking. That is a part. Pension payments are eligible for 80 rupees per transaction. That is correct. For central government transactions reported after 90 days, no prior approval is required if the bank is required of bank if justified by the bank. If justified by the bank. Is it correct? No, sir. This is a wrong statement. RBI mandates that if the central government transactions are reported after 90 days, prior approval from the concerned ministry or the department is compulsory. So this is not the case. Next is agency commission is shared in the ratio 75-25 and work is divided between 2 banks. That is correct. That is correct. Since commission is shared 75:25 ratio and 2 banks, they are involved in different stages of the transaction. That is correct. The next point is RBI allows extension beyond 6 p.m. cutoff time for uploading transaction files in exceptional cases. See, I have no idea. Nothing was mentioned about any kind of exceptional case. So we'll take it as no. There is no exceptional case which is mentioned. So keeping that in mind, answer should be A option. That is 1, 2 and 4 are the correct answers. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया, done है, sorted है, चलो. If you are ready, just give me yes sir, so that we can start the discussion. आज के हमारे जो 3 circulars हैं, they are really very important. As always, there is a great probability कि यहाँ से अगर question आएगा, we should be in a position to answer it for sure. ठीक है जी, डन है. तो बिफोर आई स्टार्ट विद द डिस्कशन, आई वुड बी कमिंग इन द सेम मैनर द वे आई ऑलवेज कम, दैट फर्स्ट वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग द न्यूज, व्हाट इज इट, आई विल गिव यू द ओवरऑल कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड देन वी विल बी मूविंग अहेड एंड वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग इट इन मोर डिटेल. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. बिफोर आई start with this particular circular, I would like to ask you a basic question, and I'm pretty sure you will be in a position to answer this question. Guys, what do you understand by the word NPA? See, NPA basically means non-performing asset, and generally if no principal or interest is paid for 90 days, we call it as, or bank categorize it as NPA. We always say that the loan is a secured loan. What do you understand by the word secured loan? So secured loan basically means against the loan, the collateral is given. Against the loan, collateral is given. The collateral can be used for the process of recovery. Now, let's suppose guys, a bank has provided a home loan, and this home loan is provided against the ownership papers, against the ownership papers of the land on which the construction is going to be done. For example, I'm holding a residential property, I'm holding a residential land, but I want to construct a house. For the construction purpose, I need funds. In that particular case, I can borrow. In that particular case, I can easily borrow the funds from the bank, but bank will ask me to mortgage my immovable asset, and that immovable asset in this case is land, and the same land on which I'm planning to construct the house or construct the building. The moment I will be handing over this particular security or collateral to the bank is very well aware that if in near future the borrower is not in a position to pay back the loan and the loan is declared as NPA, then as per the SNFA Act, I hope you remember this, we have discussed this in our paid courses a number of times. So SNFA Act 2002, it states very clearly that once the loan is declared as NPA, on the very next day, bank has a capacity to issue a legal notice to the customer in order to pay back the funds, or bank has a power to take up the possession. Bank has a power to take up the possession of the mortgaged property and start the process of recovery. So whenever we talk about banks, a bank is a financial institution, and this financial institution is involved in financial transactions. It is involved in financial assets. And bank is not allowed openly by RBI to hold non-financial assets. So bank is not allowed as per Banking Regulation Act to hold non-financial assets like land, or I would say land means that bank is getting into the process of real estate investment. ऐसे तो बैंक के पास अपनी branches है, bank is the owner of its own headquarter. That is fine, that is okay. I'm talking about the bank cannot own the real estate, the land, with the motive of investment. That is not allowed. With the motive of investment, that is not allowed. If bank is holding any kind of immovable asset, that immovable asset will be considered as bank's fixed asset. It will be considered as bank's fixed asset, but it won't be considered as a financial asset. In this case, bank is not allowed by RBI to hold the non-financial asset with the motive of investment to earn profit. But if a loan is declared as NPA, and according to the SNFA Act, if bank take up the possession, are you getting my point? Bank was already having the ownership. Now bank has, along with ownership, has taken over the possession of that particular immovable asset, then that immovable asset will be termed as special or specified non-financial asset. It will be termed as specified non-financial asset. Now the question is, so what is the circular all about? The circular is RBI has defined what are these special non-financial assets. RBI has defined what should be the steps taken by the bank for completing the process of recovery of these specified non-finance assets, as well as RBI has also defined all the procedures, all the rules, all the regulations which are involved while holding, while selling, as well as while disposing these non-financial assets. तो पहले भी these financial assets were defined. It's not the first time that these non-financial assets have been defined for the very first time. No, that is not the case. Earlier also these non-financial assets were defined, but now not only the definition but all the aspects, not only the definition but all the aspects with respect to the specified financial asset has been included, has been elaborated by RBI. ठीक है जी, कहानी समझ आ गई? कहानी समझ आ गई कि ये जो स्टोरी है जिसके बारे में हम आज बात करने वाले, ये स्टोरी किसके अराउंड घूमेगी? तो ये है क्रक्स ऑफ द स्टोरी. अब इसमें हमें क्या क्या चीजें पता होनी चाहिए वो मैं आपको जल्दी से पढ़ा देता हूं. इसमें कुछ मुश्किल नहीं है, बट एक पॉइंट है जो आपको याद रखना है. दैट्स इट इज नॉट अ फाइनल डायरेक्शन, इट्स अ ड्राफ्ट, बट इट इज सो इंपॉर्टेंट that it has a great probability that it can be asked in the examination. तो मैंने उस ड्राफ्ट को ही हमारे इस डिस्कशन में इंक्लूड कर लिया, क्योंकि अगेन आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग this draft will come forward as a final guideline with no major changes, and when the guideline will be out, then we will be revising it quickly. At that particular day we will be revising it quickly. ठीक है जी, क्लियर होगी बात? Chance of default is minimum and collateral is backed. हाँ, तो ये पॉइंट ठीक है. मैं समझ रहा हूं आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हो. अब ये कहना चाह रहे हो कि सर फॉर एग्जाम्पल देयर इज एन इंडिविजुअल ए reached to the bank to borrow the loan, and against the loan this A has provided a collateral. This A has provided a collateral, and this collateral was one of the important I would say condition of the bank to provide loan at low lending rates. Otherwise the lending rates will be high in case of unsecured loan. But the problem is the asset which is provided by A, that is the borrower, to the bank, the value of this asset is, let's say, 10 lakh rupees, but the demand for loan is let's say 30 lakhs. So in this case, it doesn't mean that bank will not provide the loan. Bank will surely provide the loan, and that type of loan is known as partially secured loan. So if you are thinking that in case of secured loan, the collateral value is always high than the loan value, and in that case, the probability of default is pretty low. I agree to that. But if it is a partially secured loan, there is a high probability of loan converting into default or converting into NPA. एक और एस्पेक्ट मैं आपको बताता हूँ. हर बार ये जरूरी नहीं है कि अगर आपका लोन secured loan है, then it cannot go or it cannot land up in the situation of NPA. The reason is, for example, I am running a business and I have borrowed a loan for my business, and if the business is not doing well, undoubtedly I have given a security to borrow the loan, but today I don't even have the funds to pay back the bank loan and then sell off my security to I would say to equate or to manage my outstandings. So the things, they turn around, and if the tables turn around in that particular situation, even the secured loan, they get into the category of NPA. And over the period of time, देखो ना, you borrowed a loan today, after 5 years the loan has been declared as NPA, and the recovery process started maybe after 2 to 3 years of declaration of loan as NPA. तो उस टाइम में the value of the asset has also depreciated, or the value or the depreciation of value along with the appreciation of outstanding. वो कैसे? सर आपका जो लोन का outstanding है that has increased, क्योंकि लोन का जो principal है that is outstanding is still there, along with the interest is added for those 2-3 years where you have not paid any installment, and for the 2-3 years your asset value has depreciated. तो यहां भी बैंक के पास वो risky situation ना चाहते हुए भी create हो जाती है. So it's not the case that in case of secured loan, bank will never be at a risk. Bank can be at risk in case of secured loan situation as well. I hope the point, the context, the discussion is clear. समझ आ गया जी? आगे बढ़ूं? Is this clear? Can I have yes sir in the comment section so that I can move ahead? True expense, I hope. Sir, it means that the bank has the right to recover the loan amount and whichever extra amount comes. Yes, that's true. That's true. कि जो भी आपका outstanding amount है, after recovering that, the extra amount will be paid back to the borrower. That is absolutely true. True expense, that is correct. चलो. अब इस news के क्या क्या aspects हैं which we should know. The aspects which we should know is, first one, we should be aware of the term that is SNFA, जो मैंने आपको थोड़ा बहुत बता दिया. In detail we will be discussing. Along with that, you should be aware of non-banking assets. Of this particular draft, then we'll talk about net book value as well as the distress sale value of the property, which is again really very important concept which you should know. So along with this entire circular, the concepts which I'm going to cover is very important with respect to the finance part. So please stay with me for next 10 minutes and the circular will be done. ठीक है जी, चलो. सो स्टोरी क्या है सर? स्टोरी आप ऑलरेडी बता चुके हो. तो स्टोरी ये है कि आरबीआई ने एक ड्राफ्ट दिया फॉर द प्रूडेंशियल नॉर्म्स ऑन स्पेशल नॉन फाइनेंशियल एसेट्स. बैंक एंड अदर regulated entities, they are normally expected to conduct only financial business. They are not allowed, or they generally do not hold the physical assets with the motive of investment and gain, that is land or building. So when a loan turns bad and a legal or contractual recovery methods fail, legal or contractual recovery methods, that means I'm going to the customer, asking the customer, please यार पैसे दे दो, क्यों NPA में जा रहे हो, recovery होगी, ये होगा, वो होगा. Then the final call is bank will take over the possession on the collateral and bank will sell that collateral in order to recover the funds. So RBI has made this point very clear, how to record, how to value, how to disclose and how to sell these assets which have been taken into consideration due to the NPA announcements. ठीक है जी. अब अगला पॉइंट आता है कि सर what is special non-financial asset? As I said, it's an immovable asset such as land or building that regulated entities acquire when a borrower fails to repay and lender takes the property in full or partial settlement of debt. Full or partial settlement का मतलब 10 लाख का लोन, 20 लाख की सिक्योरिटी, तो दिस इज फुल सेटलमेंट. 10 lakh rupees of loan and security value is 5 lakh, so this is partial settlement of loan. समझ आ रही है बातें? इससे full settlement हो गया लोन का and this will lead to partial settlement of loan. Rest of the loan will still be unrecovered on the name of the borrower. Asset is treated as acquired only when the title of the property is transferred on the name of the lender. So when at the time of borrowing, जब आप borrow करने जाते हैं, let's say you went to a bank to borrow a loan, and you are borrowing a loan, let's say for home loan purpose, and you are transferring the ownership of your house on the name of the bank. अब actually क्या है? There is no actual sale of property from borrower to bank, क्योंकि अगर आप actual sale कर रहे हैं, it will involve the revenue department expenses, it will involve the number of fees which has to be paid at the time of sale and purchase. So this is not done. Rather, what is done? Bank and borrower, they sign an agreement. We call it as a deed. So they sign a deed, and in this particular deed, we call it as equity deed. In this particular deed, borrower one clearly states that I am borrowing a loan from so and so bank. If I do not pay back the loan, then bank will become the ownership, or bank will become automatically the owner of my so and so property. Along with that, I am attaching the original ownership papers of my land or of my property. तो बैंक के पास ये जो deed signed है, that deed will be used as a proof, and on that particular basis, bank can acquire the ownership of that particular collateral. There is no harm in that, but once it is acquired, then only it will be termed as specified non-financial assets. So these assets, they include old non-banking assets also. What is old non-banking assets? कुछ नहीं है sir. These are the same assets which have been acquired once the loan has been declared as NPA, but earlier they were termed as only non-banking assets and nothing else was defined. But now everything with respect to the assets which have been acquired by the bank against the loan which has been declared as NPA, and these are the non-financial assets, especially the immovable assets. For them, the rules and regulations have been introduced. So the older rules or the older term or the definition, that is non-banking asset under the Banking Regulation Act 1949, now it has also been included under the special non-financial asset. That is a point which you need to remember. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया. Moving on to the next point. अगला point क्या कहता? Sir, it will include whom? Sir, it will include all, that is commercial banks, small finance banks, local area banks, regional rural banks, payment banks are excluded. Why payment banks are excluded? Sir, जो लोन ही नहीं दे रहा वो रिकवरी कहां से करेगा, तो एक्सक्लूड कर दिया. Then we have urban cooperative banks, state cooperative banks, central cooperative banks, and all the other financial institutes, even the NBFCs, even the housing finance companies. It is applicable to all. When the borrower exposure has already become NPA, the lender must first explore all the other methods. कि भैया जब लोन NPA हो जाए तो पहले दिन से सीधा सीधा उस असेट की रिकवरी पे मत जाना, सीधा सीधा उस असेट का पोजेशन लेने मत जाना. बैंक शुड कंसिडर ऑल दी अदर एस्पेक्ट्स. ऑल दी अदर एस्पेक्ट्स मींस जो भी पॉसिबल वेज है जिसके थ्रू बैंक कैन एक्वायर और बैंक कैन रिकवर इट्स लोन, बैंक शुड डू दैट. जब बैंक को लगे भैया कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता, माय हैंड्स आर अप, in that particular case only bank will take over. When bank feel that no, nothing can be done now, then in that particular case only bank will take over the possession of this immovable asset, and after taking the possession of this immovable asset, it will be treated, or it will be termed as special, it will be termed as special non-financial asset. But point ये है RBI का कि भैया जल्दी मत करना, आराम से जल्दी मत करना. You have to be very slow. You need to complete or you need to identify all the other methods. Once you are done कि कुछ और नहीं हो सकता, then only you will be including it as a SNFA. So in case of SNFA, what will be the value? कि भैया आज आपका जो लोन है उस लोन के बदले में you have given a collateral. I'm taking this X as an immovable land as a collateral which has been given to the bank. अब question ये है कि sir, when you will be writing down SNFA, that is special non-financial asset, it will be included in the balance sheet of the bank. And while including in the balance sheet of the bank, you will not write asset 1 X land. You cannot write that. In balance sheet, you have to write the monetary value. Now the question is, what will be the value which is going to be included? So bank can take any one value out of the two, which is the lowest one. As per RBI, what are those two values? The first value of the land is, so first value of the land is the market value you receive, or you may receive if you are selling the land immediately. If you are selling the land immediately. So the word market value is not correct. I have intentionally used this word over here so that you should ignore using, or you should not use this word market value in near future, because market value का मतलब है कि what is the actual value of the land. But I'm not saying the market value, I'm not saying the optimistic value, but I'm talking about very conservative. I'm talking about very realistic value, which means that the value you may, I would say the value which can be generated, the value which can be generated quickly or forcefully. फोर्स्ड सेल वर्ड एक यूज किया जाता है. फोर्स सेल का मतलब कि भैया मेरे पास एक बायर है, लेकिन बायर इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है मेरी प्रॉपर्टी खरीदने में, मैंने उसको फोर्सफुली सेल कर दिया. बायर ने कहा नहीं चाहिए. मैंने कहा आपको पता है प्रॉपर्टी कितने की है? 2.5 करोड़ की. कहता है यार नहीं चाहिए. मैंने कहा 2 करोड़ में ले लो. कहता नहीं चाहिए. मैंने कहा 1.5 करोड़ में ले लो. कहता नहीं चाहिए. मैंने कहा यार 1 करोड़ में तो ले लो. वो कहता चल ठीक है यार दे दे. दिस इज वी कॉल इट एज फोर्सफुल सेल. इट्स नॉट सो मच ऑफ नेगोशिएशन इज डन, इट्स जस्ट टू शोकेस व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से. ठीक है, तो पहला पॉइंट है that you will be the bank will be calculating the value of this asset as distress sale value. Distress sale value means as assessed. Distress sale value means when you are selling your property right away, quickly, forcefully, that is distress sale value. कि bare minimum मरे दर्जे पे आज भी अगर ये प्रॉपर्टी बेचूं तो इतना पैसा जरूर मिलेगा, that is distress sale. But on the other side we have net book value. Net book value ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड है, बहुत बार आता. Book value is always the loan, it's always the loan given minus the provisioning done. या मैं और इसको थोड़ा बेटर करूं तो it will be outstand the loan वैल्यू माइनस आउटस्टैंडिंग. सो वॉट एवर लोन हैज बीन गिवन उसके अगेंस्ट बैंक के पास कितनी प्रोविजनिंग है. When you subtract it, you get the value. We call it as net book value. अब net book value या फिर distress sale value, whichever is minimum, that value will be written in the balance sheet of the bank against this special non-financial asset. No, it's not fair value. Fair value बहुत अलग होती है सौरभ. So don't get into it. Fair value जो term है वो तो पहली बात तो real estate के लिए defined ही नहीं है. It is defined for financial assets. It's not defined for non-financial assets. So don't get into it. It's a distress sale value at which you can easily sell the property right away, as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. Net book value is the loan exposure or the loan value minus provisioning done. So loan exposure that is being extinguished word यहाँ पे जो ये यूज किया गया है ये बहुत एक important term है which you need to remember over here. This term is basically used to state a situation where the loan is already taken up as NPA, ठीक है जी. क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया. I guess there is no doubt till this point. Let's move on to the next. If the loan is only partly extinguished, then the net book value should be calculated proportionally. After the acquisition, asset must be revalued. So once the asset is acquired by the bank, it should be revalued for 2 years or after every 2 years on distress sale basis. So distress sale basis पे you will be doing the calculation every 2 years. If the value falls, the loss must be immediately recognized in the loss account. अगर वैल्यू कम हो गई that should be recognized as a loss, and if its value rises, it should not be taken into profit immediately. ये समझ लो कि अगर तो वैल्यू कम हो गई, तो अगर वैल्यू कम हुई that will become the part of loss side right away. It will become the part of loss side right away. But if the value increases, it won't be included as a part of profit. It won't be included as a part of profit right away. That is what I'm trying to say. ये point बहुत clearly define किया RBI ने. Is it clear? Is it clear? Shall I move to the next point now? Guys, please? और याद रखना कि ये जो values है, these values are going to be assessed by at least 2 independent external valuers. जहां पे RBI नहीं चाहता that the special non-financial asset should not be overvalued by the bank. It should not be overvalued by the bank. That is a condition bank is or RBI is talking about. What happens to the interest and income? ये point ध्यान से सुनना कि interest और income में income को क्या होगा. देखो यार, interest की अगर हम बात करें तो यहाँ पे जो interest value है ना, यहाँ पे जो word है that is interest value, this is very important. तो यहाँ पे जो interest value है, क्या होता था अगर आपको याद हो तो मैंने एक और सर्कुलर आपको कराया था जिसमें मैंने कहा था earlier what bank used to do, once the loan is declared as NPA, bank is not receiving any installment. Since bank is not receiving any installment, then also bank keeps on adding the interest, in its income side, thinking कि आज नहीं तो कल ये इंटरेस्ट आएगा ही आएगा. उसको ये सोच लिया कि आज नहीं तो कल ये इंटरेस्ट आएगा ही आएगा. तो बैंक क्या कर रहा है? सो बैंक वाज एडिंग दैट इंटरेस्ट व्हिच बैंक इज एक्सपेक्टिंग टू रिसीव इन द नियर फ्यूचर इन द इनकम साइड. तो अब तो ये क्लियरली बोल दिया आरबीआई ने दैट बैंक शुड नॉट इंक्लूड द इंटरेस्ट व्हिच इज नॉट रिसीव्ड एज एन इनकम. इट शुड नॉट बी इंक्लूडेड एज income until unless it is actually received. So any interest or charges that had accrued on the loan but were not actually realized before the property was acquired cannot be recognized as income after the property comes into the lender position. तो मान लो कि आपने पिछले 3 सालों में हर महीने का इंटरेस्ट ऐड कर लिया 3 सालों के बाद वो प्रॉपर्टी चली गई बैंक के पास, तो वो जो पैसा आपने ऐड किया था दैट वोंट बी द पार्ट ऑफ योर इनकम, बिकॉज वो पैसा मिलेगा ही नहीं आपको। अब तो सिर्फ आपके पास प्रॉपर्टी है, बेचो, रिकवर करो या जो भी करो। अब यहां पे जो भी अकाउंटिंग होगी दैट विल नॉट बी ऑन एक्रूअल बेसिस, इट विल बी ऑन एक्चुअल बेसिस दैट हैज बीन ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड। If there is any unrealized income which was already shown, it must be reversed through the profit and loss account within 1 year from the effective date. कि भैया अगर आपने पुराने टाइम में कुछ ऐसा कर रखा है तो आज जब से ये डायरेक्शन इंप्लीमेंट होगी, अब इंप्लीमेंट कब होगी सर, ये तो अभी ड्राफ्ट है, तो जब इंप्लीमेंटेशन होगी उस इंप्लीमेंटेशन के 1 साल के अंदर अंदर आपको उसे रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा। ऑन दी अदर हैंड, अब मान लो कि बैंक ने एक फैक्ट्री को लोन दिया, फैक्ट्री एनपीए हो गई और आज बैंक ने उस फैक्ट्री पे पोजेशन ले लिया, सो द सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द फैक्ट्री, द बेसिक मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द फैक्ट्री इज गोइंग टू बी डन बाय द बैंक ओनली। सो मेंटेनिंग एंड और प्रोटेक्टिंग द प्रॉपर्टी सच एज सिक्योरिटी, मेंटेनेंस और अपकीप मस्ट बी चार्ज्ड टू द इनकम स्टेटमेंट इन द ईयर इन विच इट इज इंकर्ड। तो जिस साल में आपने उस प्रॉपर्टी पे स्पेंड किया है फॉर मेंटेनिंग इट, प्रोटेक्टिंग इट, you will be calculating or you will be treating it as an expenditure on your income statement. So any income actually earned from SNFA such as rent or realized income must be shown as non-interest or the other income. सही है ना कि भैया जो खर्चा करोगे या फिर उस पे जो आपको इनकम मिलेगी, मान लो कोई रेंट मिला या कुछ, that will be the part of income statement, it will be included. That is fair enough. अब क्वेश्चन है कि सर दिस असेट विल बी सोल्ड थ्रू पब्लिक ऑक्शन एंड नाउ वी ऑल नो दैट बैंक का नेट, वी ऑल नो दैट अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर वेबसाइट, दिस इज द वेबसाइट ऑन विच RBI has asked the banks that you have to register your assets before you go for the public auction, and after registering the public auction is done and the property will be sold out by the bank. अब मान लो कि बैंक इस प्रॉपर्टी को सेल नहीं कर पाया, if the lender is unable to sell this property within the maximum disposable period and in any case it cannot be more than 7 years. तो आपका जो maximum disposable period है या तो वो कितना होगा, 7 years होगा, या फिर the value it is carrying becomes zero. So either the value becomes zero first or it's more than 7 years that you have not converted or you have not sold out your special non-financial asset. Then RBI is saying don't worry, I will be considering this asset as your own asset. I will be considering this asset as bank's own asset and it will be the part of bank's fixed asset. It will not be the part of SNFA. तो भैया उसके बाद वो बैंक की प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक के खाते डाल दो, बैंक की फिक्स एसेट में डाल दो, SNFA से निकाल दो। तो SNFA में कौन है सर? SNFA में सारे टाइप्स ऑफ लोन है जो आपके लोन NPA डिक्लेयर हो चुके हैं, दे ऑल आर दी पार्ट ऑफ दी SNFA। ठीक है जी, क्लियर होगी बातें। बेसिक एजेंडा सेम है कि भैया जल्दी से जल्दी रिकवरी हो, और जब तक रिकवरी नहीं हो रही उस असेट का एक स्पेसिफाइड कंडीशन हो जिस कंडीशन में उसे रखा जाए, दैट इज स्पेसिफाइड नॉन फाइनेंशियल असेट। ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया। चलो क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते हैं। सो कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट रिगार्डिंग द स्पेसिफाइड नॉन फाइनेंशियल असेट। स्पेसिफाइड नॉन फाइनेंशियल असेट कैन बी एक्वायर्ड by a regulated entity even when the loan is standard provided collateral exists. No sir, ये तो पॉसिबल नहीं है ना। जब तक आपका लोन एनपीए नहीं होता, एनपीए होने के बाद जब तक आप बहुत ज्यादा ट्राई नहीं करते, that how come the recovery should be done, or you are by the time you have not tried all the existing means to recover the outstanding loan, till that point you cannot consider it as SNFA. Next is SNFA refers to only movable assets acquired during. No sir, SNFA, if you ask me, sir, it refers specifically only and only to the immovable assets, not the movable assets. Remember this. ठीक? Acquisition of SNFA leads to full or partial extinguishment of borrower's outstanding exposure. ये बिल्कुल सही है। क्या हुआ इसका मतलब? सर अगर जो आपकी asset है which has been declared as SFNA, now this SNFA has been acquired by the bank, acquired by the bank का मतलब कि बैंक ने उसे एक्वायर कर लिया तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपका लोन या तो सेटल हो जाएगा या फिर जो आपका लोन है उसका आउटस्टैंडिंग वैल्यू कम हो जाएगी। मान लो 10 लाख रुपए की आउटस्टैंडिंग लोन है, 5 लाख की एसेट, तो जो आपका आउटस्टैंडिंग बचेगा वो कितने का बचेगा? 5 लाख का। सो यस, दैट इज करेक्ट। इन केस ऑफ पार्शियल extinguishment, the remaining exposure is treated as restructured asset. बिल्कुल सही है। मान लो ये जो 5 लाख बचे जिसके बदले में अभी तक रिकवरी नहीं हुई, so that will be termed as restructured loan, जहां पे बैंक will try its level best, कस्टमर को कहेगा कि ठीक है बाकी का जो पैसा बचा है उसके लिए इंटरेस्ट कम कर लेते हैं, इंस्टॉलमेंट कम कर लेते हैं, धीरे धीरे पे कर देना, दैट इज व्हाट इज डन. SNFA can be acquired only after all other recovery options are explored and found unviable. That is true. So keeping that in mind, so B option is correct. 3, 4, 5 are the correct answers, but first and second are the wrong statements. Those who are given the correct answer, pretty good. Anushka, Shreya, Rishabh, destination, बहुत बढ़िया. चलो अगले क्वेश्चन के लिए तैयार. टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट. दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर होमवर्क एंड डू शेयर द आंसर विद मी in the comment section below, and in the next class we will be discussing the same. Done. If you have any doubt you may ask, please. This is all from my side for the given draft, and there is a great probability that this question will be asked in the examination and the related concepts as well. ठीक है. अच्छा जी. Sir, if the bank have commercial property as a collateral, so after becoming NPA, can bank convert those property into bank branch or office? Yes. उसमें क्या होगा? फर्स्ट एक्वायरिंग, दैट विल बी टर्म्ड एज बैंक्स ओन एसेट, दैट विल बी टर्म्ड एज बैंक्स ओन एसेट, एंड देन ओनली दिस विल बी डन. बट इट इज नॉट अलाउड ऐसे ही. आपको पहले रिकवरी करनी होगी, रिकवरी के सारे प्रोसीजर्स फॉलो करने होंगे. रिकवरी आप कर नहीं पाए, फिर उसके बाद आपने ऑक्शन की, ऑक्शन में कोई खरीदने नहीं आया, एंड ऑफ द डे कुछ हो ही नहीं पाया, तो अल्टीमेटली वो प्रॉपर्टी आपके पास रह गई. देन दैट प्रॉपर्टी विल बिकम योर फिक्स्ड एसेट, नॉट बिफोर दैट. Then only it will become your property, not before that. Is it clear? और अगर RBI को लगा कि बैंक is doing deliberately this, then also bank can be challenged against the same. ठीक है, चलो जी. Here we go with the next news. अगली न्यूज पिछली न्यूज से रिलेटेड है. पिछली न्यूज कौन सी? जो हमने लास्ट क्लास में एक न्यूज पढ़ी थी, आई होप आपको याद होगा. वो न्यूज क्या थी? लास्ट क्लास में हमने ये समझा था एजेंसी बैंक के बारे में. और एजेंसी बैंक क्या होता है? तो एजेंसी बैंक इज बेसिकली अ बैंक which is providing all the banking services to the government, that is central government, state government, as well as these services are provided to the government departments, where actually bank is acting as a bank for the government departments, government organization, that is agency bank. And this agency bank service is not done free of cost. It is done against fixed payouts, that is 40 rupees per transaction, 12 rupees per transaction, 80 rupees per transaction, 7 paisa for 100 rupees. I hope you remember this. We have discussed. ठीक है. उसी में हमने एक और चीज की थी. वो क्या? मैंने आपको ये कहा था कि सर बैंक is also responsible to distribute the pension on the behalf of government ministries or departments. तो होगा कैसे? अगर मैं मोटा सा आपको फ्लो बताऊं तो मोटा सा फ्लो ये है कि सर बैंक के पास एक अकाउंट है. किसका? सर गवर्नमेंट का. उस अकाउंट में गवर्नमेंट विल क्रेडिट द फंड्स, एंड दिस क्रेडिट विल कम फ्रॉम ईदर RBI. ठीक है. बैंक फंड्स विल बी क्रेडिटेड. दोज फंड्स व्हिच आर क्रेडिटेड विद द बैंक विद इन इट्स organization itself, it has a cell. Bank within its organization itself, it has created a cell. What that cell is called, I don't know how many of you have heard about that particular cell, but that cell is really very important. And if I say that cell, how it basically works is, sir वो जो cell है बैंक का, that has been created, and that created, I would say you can consider it as a department. It is a separate department which has been created by the bank, which is responsible for calculating, managing and doing all the operations with respect to pension calculation. तो pension calculation के aspect में जितने भी टास्क हैं वो एक specialized सेल के द्वारा बैंक में कंडक्ट किए जाते हैं, बैंक में परफॉर्म किए जाते हैं. वी कॉल इट एज सेंट्रलाइज्ड पेंशन प्रोसेसिंग सेंटर. तो यहाँ पे कैलकुलेशन होने के बाद कस्टमर्स आइडेंटिफाई हुआ, और कस्टमर्स आइडेंटिफाई होने के बाद उनका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगा. द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इज डन फर्स्टली दैट कस्टमर शुड रीच टू द बैंक with the checkbook or maybe with the withdrawal form, or withdrawal form के बाद you can withdraw those funds from the bank. Secondly, if you cannot go to the bank, then in that particular case bank can even reach to you because you have that age, और उस एज में अगर आप नहीं बैंक तक आ सकते तो आरबीआई तो गवर्नमेंट कहती है कोई बात नहीं, बैंक आप तक चल के आएगा, आपको उसकी टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो सारे कहानी में क्या क्या एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जो कि इंपॉर्टेंट है उसके बारे में आज के सेशन में डिस्कस करेंगे। थोड़ा सा लेंदी है सर्कुलर बट इजी है। सो आरबीआई हैज टोल्ड ऑथराइज्ड बैंक्स हाउ टू क्रेडिट पेंशन ऑन टाइम, how to deal with the pension arrears and DNS relief charges, how to help old and disabled pensioners, how to handle life certificates, how to provide better customer service to the pensioner। तो पेंशन से रिलेटेड जो भी बैंक और आरबीआई बैंक का रोल है उसे बहुत इजीली यहां पे डिफाइन किया है। दिस इज एप्लीकेबल ऑन ऑल द बैंक्स व्हिच कैन एक्ट एज अ agent bank, that is public sector banks, private bank, even the scheduled payment banks, even the scheduled small finance banks, they are allowed for this particular purpose. Now the circular has two important terms. One is agency bank, जो मैं ऑलरेडी आपको पढ़ा चुका हूं, उसको पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। दूसरी टर्म है जीवन प्रमाण। जीवन प्रमाण is nothing but it is life certificate. It's nothing but life certificate. तो ये जो जीवन प्रमाण है इसका मतलब क्या? देखो पहले क्या होता था, पहले ये होता था कि सर जो कस्टमर है, the customer should approach to the bank and submit his or her life certificate, which was reissued or which was issued over the period of time. Generally, it was revised on 6 monthly basis. उन्हें इशू करा के बैंक के पास सबमिट किया जाता है। लेकिन अब बैंक डिजिटल हो गया तो बैंक कहते हैं सर हमारे पास आने की जरूरत नहीं है, अब घर बैठो, घर बैठ के विद द हेल्प ऑफ योर आधार कार्ड, with the help of your Aadhaar card number, first आप अपना आधार कार्ड नंबर देंगे, नंबर देते ही they will ask you to identify yourself, so you will be identifying yourself with the help of OTP, and even you can along with OTP, it's not saying only OTP, along with OTP which is more important is biometric identification, so either through fingerprint scan or maybe through retina eye scan, so whatever is feasible आप उन दोनों की मदद से या किसी एक आइडेंटिफिकेशन की मदद से the customer will be identified once the UIDAI confirm that yes the data matches with the data which they have in their data bank, then bank will get this assurity कि भैया जिसके नाम पे पेंशन है वो जिंदा है तो उसे पेंशन देते रहो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ठीक है, that is जीवन प्रमाण। How pension is rated? So government often issues orders about DNS relief, pension revision or any other matter। तो अब बैंक को बहुत क्लियरली बोल दिया कि गवर्नमेंट पेंशन देगी, बैंक्स के थ्रू देगी। आरबीआई ने आपको एजेंट बैंक बना दिया, आरबीआई का रोल अब एक पॉइंट पे थोड़ा सा लिमिटेड हो गया। वो क्या लिमिटेड हो गया? इफ एनी चेंज इज डन, दैट चेंज विल बी अनाउंस्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट एंड दैट चेंज विल बी इंप्लीमेंटेड बाय द बैंक राइट अवे। बैंक शुड नॉट से कि भैया आरबीआई से सर्कुलर आएगा तब जाकर ऐसा होगा, नहीं भैया गवर्नमेंट ने आपको अनाउंस कर दिया, गवर्नमेंट की बात मानो, उसे इंप्लीमेंट करो। देयर शुड बी नो डिले इन द पेंशन डिस्पर्सल्स। टाइमिंग ऑफ द पेंशन पेमेंट्स, अ पेंशन अमाउंट मस्ट बी क्रेडिटेड टू द पेंशनर्स अकाउंट अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑर्डर गिवन बाय कंसर्न्ड पेंशन सेंक्शनिंग अथॉरिटी। तो जो भी कंसर्न पेंशन सेंक्शनिंग अथॉरिटी है वो अपना एक ऑर्डर देगी कितनी डेट तक बैंक को ये अमाउंट पेंशन अमाउंट क्रेडिट करनी है इन द बैंक अकाउंट ऑफ द pensioners, so they have to do it. What happens if excess pension is paid? अगर मान लो ज्यादा पेंशन पे हो गई, so if अगर वहां पे गलती बैंक की है, if excess pension is paid and the mistake is done by the bank, then bank must pay back first to the government. बैंक कहेगा कि भैया मुझसे गलती से ज्यादा अमाउंट दी गई, आपके अकाउंट से गलती से मुझसे ज्यादा डेबिट हो गया, मैं देखूंगा मुझे कैसे रिकवर करना, दैट इज माई प्रॉब्लम, बट जो मैंने ज्यादा दिया वो पहले आप रख लो। दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग। सेकेंड है इफ द डिस्पर्सल इज हाई बिकॉज ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट मिस्टेक, अगर गवर्नमेंट की मिस्टेक है तो बैंक मस्ट क्विकली कोऑर्डिनेट विद द गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स कि किस तरह से वो जो एक्स्ट्रा पैसा दिया है वो रिकवर करे या फिर अगली पेंशन में उसे क्या कर दे, एडजस्ट कर दे। ठीक है जी। अब अगर कोई बहुत ज्यादा बीमार है जो बैंक तक चलकर नहीं आ सकता, लेकिन वो थंब इंप्रेशन दे सकता। सेकेंड इज अगर कोई ऐसा इंडिविजुअल है जो कैन नॉट इवन गिव अ थंब इंप्रेशन और फिजिकली विजिट द ब्रांच बिकॉज ऑफ सम सीरियस डिसेबिलिटी और इनकैपेसिटी। भैया दो तरह के लोग हैं, पहले जो साइन नहीं कर सकते चेक को, लेकिन वो ना तो चेक साइन कर सकते और ना ही वो बैंक की ब्रांच में आ सकते हैं, लेकिन वो थंब इंप्रेशन दे सकते हैं, और दूसरे से जो साइन भी नहीं कर सकते, थंब इंप्रेशन भी नहीं दे सकते, बैंक की ब्रांच में तो आ ही नहीं सकते। तो उस केस में क्या होगा सर, इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस the pensioner can put a thumb or toe impression. That impression must be identified by two independent witnesses. भैया आप जब ये toe impression या thumb impression देंगे, that should be identified by two independent witnesses, one of whom must be a responsible bank official. If the pensioner cannot even do that, then a mark be used. वो कहते हैं ना birth mark. Then a birth mark can be used, or there could be any mark which can be put on the check by the drawer, and that mark will be used in order to pay back the funds or in order to withdraw the funds from the pension account. Again, that will be done in the presence of two independent witnesses only. That will be done in the presence of two independent witnesses only. ठीक है जी, क्लियर होगी ये बात, दोनों पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट है, याद रखना. So pensioners may also tell the bank who will withdraw the money on his or her behalf. That person must be identified properly and must give a signature to the bank. तो pensioner को ये भी बताना होगा कि मैं तो आ नहीं सकता, मेरे अकाउंट से पैसा निकालने कौन आएगा, मेरा बेटा आएगा, दे देना. तो बेटे का पूरा वहां पे डिटेल ली जाती है, तब जाकर वो पैसे दिए जाते हैं. Bank should display all these instruction in its branch. Reimbursement of pension payment. The bank branches that handle pension work must send reimbursement claims to the central account section. तो वो they send the reimbursement claims to the central account section Nagpur, the central government pension, and to the concerned government banking division of the RBI regional office for the state government pension. समझ आई ये बात? वह जो पैसा बैंक ने दे दिया उसका वापसी जो क्लेम है that will come from this direction. RBI has introduced a single window system which will make the settlement of reimbursement claims faster as well as easier. तो जो भी आपके reimbursement claims हैं that will be faster and easier with the help of single window system. Life certificate and acknowledgement that has been discussed. ये important है. So with respect to this, there was a committee appointed, that was Prabhakar Rao committee. That committee recommended that internal auditors and inspectors should use a proper checklist while checking pension branches. तो जो भी आपकी pension branches है, the branches which are allowed to disperse the pension, उनकी जो inspection है, auditing है, that should be done in a proper manner. There should be a, I would say, a proper checklist maintain करो so that कोई गलती ना हो सके. Bank must also ensure that internal audit reports comment on the quality of customer service given to the pensioners. तो जो भी आपकी quality of customer services है which you are giving to the pensioners, that should also be included in the audit report. These reports should be made available to RBI inspectors whenever they visit the branch. The goal is just to pay pensions but not to make pensioners and to make sure that the pensioners are treated well. ठीक है, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ पेंशन देनी है, बट पेंशनर्स को ट्रीट वेल करना है, दैट इज ऑल्सो नीड टू बी डन. ईच बैंक मस्ट अपॉइंट 1 or 2 नोडल ऑफिसर्स at regional or zonal office to monitor and resolve all the complaints, redressals, all the grievances against the pension related aspects. There will be a general manager or a chief general manager who is going to review the situation every month. But ये important है, as I said, at location outside CPPC. What is CPPC? So it is a dedicated unit of a bank that handles all pensions related work in one place instead of spreading it across multiple branches. So coming back, all locations outside CPPC, bank must also appoint dedicated nodal officer for pension compliance. तो जो आपकी CPP से बाहर है, वहां भी आपके जो nodal officers है, that should be appointed. These officers should be easily reachable by the pensioners so that pensioners को जो भी problem वो दे सके. Even the pensioners, they should have a toll-free pension helpline number where they can register their complaints and even they can ask their doubts related to the pension. अगर मान लो एक pension थी, for example अटल पेंशन योजना, I hope if I'm correct, अटल पेंशन योजना, even if I talk about the जन मानधन योजना. So these two schemes which I remember, these are the pension schemes, and if spouse pass away, then the survival or the one who is surviving will receive the pension amount, but that pension amount will become half. Please correct me if I'm wrong. प्लीज करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग, योजनाओं से मेरा वास्ता काफी टाइम से छूटा हुआ है, तो अगर मैं सही हूं तो मुझे जरूर बताना कि इन दोनों ही स्कीम्स में ऐसा होता है कि इफ द pension scheme is purchased, then in that particular case this is going to be the scenario. If the beneficiary pass away, then the spouse will enjoy the benefit, but that will be half. ऐसा है ना? बताना मुझे, मतलब आई एम नॉट श्योर, बताना मुझे. इन APY इट्स फुल अमाउंट, जो भी अमाउंट है हाफ वाला हटा देते हैं, लेकिन स्पाउस को पैसा मिलेगा ये तो है ना. तो जो स्पाउस को पैसा मिलेगा उसके लिए, इफ द पेंशनर डाइज एंड द स्पाउस इज एलिजिबल फॉर फैमिली पेंशन, द बैंक शुड नॉट इंसिस्ट द स्पाउस टू ओपन अ न्यू अकाउंट प्रोवाइडेड द स्पाउस ऑलरेडी वांट द फैमिली पेंशन टू बी क्रेडिटेड इन द एग्जिस्टिंग अकाउंट. तो अगर वो चाहते हैं कि एग्जिस्टिंग अकाउंट में पैसा है तो ठीक है भैया, उनको कहो मत कि नया अकाउंट खुलवाना पड़ेगा, ये करना पड़ेगा. दैट इज नॉट अ केस. बैंक मस्ट रिकॉर्ड पेंशन पेमेंट ऑर्डर नंबर इन द पासबुक ऑफ द पेंशनर्स. मतलब क्या, जब भी कभी आप बैंक में जाए, यू गेट योर पेंशन, योर पासबुक अपडेटेड एंड इट विल हैव pension payment order. Pension payment order basically means it's a transaction number. It's basically the transaction number which help us to identify the pension transaction which has been done by the bank on the behalf of the government. If there is any change in the amount of pension, or when your pension starts, you will receive a pension slip. Bank must give you a pension slip when your pension either starts or there is any change in the amount. As already discussed, that there should be a timely credit of the pension. If there is a delay in case of credit, then in that particular case, bank will pay the compensation, and that compensation is going to be 8% per annum. Interest will be charged after the due date till the time the pension is credited. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बातें, समझ आ गया. So these are some of the facts, terms related to the new guidelines which have been presented by RBI with respect to government pension by agency banks. Government pensions by agency banks. Is it clear everybody? If it is clear, give me yes sir. चलो एक question solve करते हैं on the same. The question says, which of the following RBI direction is correct? Agency bank must wait for RBI instructions before implementing government orders on DNS relief. नहीं सर, RBI की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Pension must be credited based on the instructions of the pension sanctioning authority. That is correct, time and all. If excess pension is paid due to bank error, then bank must first recover the amount from the pensioner before refunding it to the government. नहीं सर, अगर गलती बैंक की है तो पहले गवर्नमेंट को पे करो, उसके बाद पेंशनर से रिकवर करो. This is the point. Bank must issue acknowledgement of receipts of life certificate. That is correct. Digital life certificate submitted through Jeevan Praman also require acknowledgement. Yes sir, that will be a digital acknowledgement. अब बैंक में जाकर अपना लाइफ सर्टिफिकेट दोगे, आपको फिजिकल एक स्लिप मिलेगी एक्नॉलेजमेंट की. अगर डिजिटल किया तो डिजिटल एक्नॉलेजमेंट की स्लिप मिलेगी. सो आंसर टू दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इज 245. दैट इज ए ऑप्शन इज एब्सोल्युटली द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट, समझ आ गया. चलो, here we go with the question guys. Take the screenshot. You have 5 seconds. 1 2 3 4 5. Take the screenshot and give me the answers in the comment section. So that will be all. 3 news थी मेरे पास, but I will be stopping with the 2. The reason is at 7 p.m. we have a session today, and at 7 p.m. today we have a session for the month of April. And April month में we cover दी RBI सर्कुलर्स. तो जितने भी RBI के सर्कुलर्स हमने कवर किए हैं अप्रैल मंथ में, मैं कहूँगा अभी 100% कवर नहीं हुए. आई एग्री टू दिस फैक्ट. मेनी ऑफ द सर्कुलर्स आर स्टिल पेंडिंग फ्रॉम 27th and 29th ऑफ अप्रैल. तो उन्हें जब मैं इंक्लूड करूंगा इन द मे मंथ न्यूज, आई विल बी मेकिंग यू रिवाइज इन द मे मंथ रिवीजन सेशन ओनली. आई होप इट्स फाइन, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. लेकिन आज 7 बजे आपका जो सेशन है दैट इज रिलेटेड टू RBI सर्कुलर्स. आई वांट एवरीबॉडी टू ज्वाइन, एंड ऑब्वियसली आई विल बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, more and more students will be joining that session. I will be explaining the concepts in more and more detail. मुझे लगा कि अगर आप लोग ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है तो मैं भी ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड नहीं रहूँगा, तो मैं भी जल्दी से रिवीजन करा के चला जाऊँगा. सो डिसीजन इज ऑल योर्स. Inform your friends, inform your batchmates, inform everybody and ask them to please be with me live It will be 60 to 90 minute session. It will be 60 to 90 minute session where I will be discussing the question. I will be giving you a quick revision of the entire circular and then I will be moving ahead. तो हर एक सर्कुलर का जो बेसिक पार्ट है जो आपको एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से याद रखना है वो आज आपको मिल जाएगा. सो बी देयर विद मी टुडे एट 7 PM. अगर आप लोग कम हुए तो मेरा जोश कम हो जाएगा. नाउ इट्स योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू आस्क योर फ्रेंड्स टू ज्वाइन टुडे एट 7. ठीक है, डन. Thank you so much. Good luck. See you soon. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you all.